Hello and welcome to another Mordian Mondays. This is episode 46. So guys, another week has passed and another infantry squad has been completed. The world of 40k may be topsy-turvy with command points going crazy, map sizes changing, points going bonkers, but as long as we stick to the old saying, keep calm and carry on painting guardsmen, I'm sure that we'll get through these tumultuous times. So this is the second squad of 3rd platoon which I have finished this week, and again it is another rescue squad. So I mentioned this last week that the guardsmen that I'm working on at the moment are some of the roughest that I have in my collection. They are very old models, ones that I've had in my collection since the beginning, over 15, 16 years ago now, long time ago. And also, many of them are eBay rescues, so ones that I've had already weren't great painted, and then when I got them, I just slapped another coat of paint over the top. So, you know, they say 2 thin coats. Back in the day when I used to paint these guys, it was 3 thick coats because, you know, thick is better apparently when it comes to painting Warhammer. So obviously, I had to do a lot of stripping on these models and bring them back to the bare plastic. That took a lot of work, even with an ultrasonic cleaner and using copious amounts of Dettol and soaking them on and off constantly for months. I did manage to get them back to the bare plastic, but a lot of them have been glued together with a mixture, it appears, of super glue and plastic glue melts the plastic together, so that can cause a lot of issues when the arms then start falling off and you've got very rough bits. And yeah, overall the models also, to be fair, they were already fairly battered from the years I'd had them and not the particularly great care they had received. And then on top of that, the stripping process for this platoon was quite brutal, to be honest. Many guardsmen did take quite a bit of damage just from the stripping process. There was very little I could do about that. A lot of the plastic was weakened from overexposure to Dettol, so on and so forth. So, to be honest, guys, it's a miracle that these have come out as well as they have done. Not to blow my own trumpet, but they have turned out much better than I was expecting. I thought this is going to be the platoon that made or broke the restoration project. Unfortunately, it seems that it just goes to show that you can no model is beyond repair. Now there are some issues. So, you know, things I couldn't really get around. For example, the grenade launcher guy, from his perspective, his right arm is quite low down, and that was simply because of the way, like I said, the plastic glue had melted the arms a bit, and the grenade parts I didn't have. Amazing, I didn't have that many spare grenade launcher parts, so I had to reuse the grenade launcher that he came with. So, unfortunately, and to be honest, I probably seated it a little lower than I meant to. So his arm is a little bit low down. But you, again, in a massive garden, when you're running, you know, even with the craziness that appears to be 9th edition, when I'm going to be running 100 plus guardsmen minimum, you're not going to notice the grenade launcher arm as much. Now, I can see it, and you guys won't be able to stop noticing it now that I've pointed it out. But apart from that, the models did turn out quite well. There are some bits which are fairly well hidden underneath armpits and whatnot, which were in pretty rough shape, and a lot of the time the las guns are covering up a lot of the damage that was done on the chest area. But overall, the models came out really well. So I'm really happy with the way with the final result. And I have to say, just that's sort of the painting and the restoration side of it. Going into the actual conversions and bits used, this is another squad of guardsmen converted with the Militarm Tempestus Scion beret heads. In case you're wondering where the beret heads are from, they're not Amble Industries, they're just Games Workshop ones, and they're really good. I quite like them, and I actually used quite an eclectic mix of bits on these squads, and I have to say, this is really what is making them. I would say is what is making or breaking the models. It's the fact that I'm using not just the standard bits from the Guardsman kit in each squad, but every unit is actually getting a big mix of parts from different kits. And I'm not just talking, the head swap, that's an obvious one. But also, for example, the bolter is from the Space Marine Scout box. That's another fairly obvious one. But then you go into looking at the grenades and whatnot. Now, some of them have just got the standard Guardsman kit, the regular lasgun guys. Most of them have just got the belt of, with the knife and the water bottle and whatnot on them, with a couple of extra grenades on there as well. But I've also used, obviously, backpacks from Anvil Industries. On this picture here with the guys on the far right, the knife there, that's from the Heavy Weapon Team box. There's another guy who's got a knife which is in a sheath from the Heavy Weapon Team box. It's the Voxcaster guy. Not all the grenades are from the Guardsman kit. I actually included some grenades from the Space Marine kit, and those frag grenades do look slightly different, and obviously the crack grenades are completely smooth. The Sergeant has got a trench knife from Anvil Industries. I had that bit lying around. And then the Guardsman with the big machete on his back, he's actually got a mixture of bits from the Scion and Space Marine kit. So his water bottle looks different. That's from the Scion kit. He's also got a little brown pouch on his back, which is like a little medic pouch or a universal pouch. And that's from the Scion kit. And then his grenades and the big machete are from the Space Marine kit. And his buddy with the las rifle, which is the only las rifle with the bayonet on the squad, all his equipment is from the Scion kit. So you've got the knife from the Scion kit, the one that's looks a bit more ornate. You've got again that universal / medical pouch, and I believe he's got some grenades that I think might be from the Scion kit. They're either from the Scion kit or from the Space Marine kit, but I think they are from the Scion kit. I'll be able to get a better look on one of these other pictures. Oh, it's a water bottle. It's not even grenades, it's a water bottle. My mistake. So yeah, all those parts are from the Scion kit. So yeah, I've used there's several different kits. So you've got the regular Guard Infantry kit, you've got the Scion kit, you've got the Space Marine kit, and you've got the Heavy Weapon Teams, obviously for the couple of knives and stuff there. So and then I've also got the Voxcaster, which I'm not even going to really use as a Voxcaster, but it adds more detail to the squad. No one will ever mind you having a Voxcaster on a squad and then not paying the points and not actually using the equipment. It just looks like a radio guy. There are loads of units all through 40k who have radio guys that are just there for decoration. In fact, many squads all have radio, radio backpacks like Skatai, for example. So no one will mind as long as it's a universal rule across the army. Either every Voxcaster model is a Voxcaster or none of them are. That's the way you have to play it. That's just gamer etiquette. Either it's, yes, I am paying for this across the whole army. There's not this squad has one, this squad doesn't. No, they've all got them, and I've paid the points for them. Then your opponent knows, no worries. Or you say to the opponent, by the way, no one's got Voxcasters. I just like adding the radio for a bit of extra detail, but none of them are there. No one will have any problem with that whatsoever. And to be honest, if you hadn't brought it up, most opponents wouldn't even have noticed. So don't be afraid to include a Voxcaster with some squads, even if you don't think you're going to be paying for it, because it does add a bit of cool detail to a unit. So that's all the modelling and hobbying stuff for this squad. In terms of tactics for them, well, it's a little, they obviously are following the same tactics as last week. I'm going for a fairly take all comers unit. So I've got the Heavy Bolter, which at the moment is a good take all comers heavy weapon. It can do work against heavier targets due to the way the wounding mechanic works. And it can also, obviously, it's very good against light infantry. It's extremely effective against light infantry. I'll say it again, yes, missile launchers probably would be the most point efficient choice based on 8th edition, but at this point with 9th, we don't know what's going to be good, what's going to be bad. We know points increases are happening across the board, whether that's just for equipment, just for models, or includes equipment. We don't know yet. And no matter the edition that has gone by, heavy bolters have never been a terrible choice. There have been editions where, autocannon versus heavy bolters has been a thing, but also heavy bolters have never been a bad choice. They might not have always been the most efficient choice, but they've never been, oh, you took a heavy bolter, you're a noob. Likewise for grenade launchers, right now, plasma is king, but we don't know how 9th edition is going to affect plasma. And if I could draw upon my previous experience, Games Workshop tends to have a cycle where one particular weapon will be the most powerful weapon for that edition. So previously in 7th, it was all about that Grav. Grav was just unbelievably powerful. Before that, it was Melter, and before that, I think it was Plasma. So it's been Plasma in 8th. We don't know where it's going to go for 9th. It might repeat the cycle and we go back to Melter. Not sure. Absolutely honest, not sure. So what I'm doing with the grenade launcher again is it's like, yeah, it's a good standard solid guard choice, but they've never been a bad choice. Grenade launchers have always been just a really cheap, reliable, just special weapon that you pay, put on your squad, and you get a little bit of extra firepower. Sometimes it's more points efficient than others. You know, when it's 3 points now, that's pretty good. They might go back up to 5 points, but a grenade. No one's ever seen a grenade launcher and gone, "Oh God, you're a noob." They've just gone, "Oh yeah, it's not the most points efficient, but I get it. Grenade launchers are pretty take all comers. They're versatile." So that's my thinking. The bolter sergeant. Well, right now we can take bolter sergeants, and I've been meaning to paint up a whole bunch of these for a long time. Will guardsmen still be able to take bolts in the future? I'd like to think so. They've been around for a long time, the ability to take bolter sergeants, but we also have to remember that Games Workshop doesn't like selling, giving you options for models that they don't sell, and they don't really sell bolter sergeants at the moment. You can't make them from command squad kits though, so we'll see how it goes. I'm hoping that the bolter sergeant will stay relevant, but we don't know. So tactics wise, yeah, this is pretty much just touch wood. I bet I'll shoot myself in the foot now, but touch wood, this is basically an addition proof squad. You know, las guns are always going to be good, grenade launchers are always going to be good, heavy bolters are always going to be good, and bolters, you know, are better to have a bolter than a las pistol, you know, across the whole army. So that's it for tactics. One thing that I've noticed a lot. It's like a light bulb moment going into sort of we've done hobby, we've done tactics, just to go into fluff for a second around the Mordian 50th rifles. I've noticed that a lot of the third-party heads from all the third-party heads from Amble Industries, every batch of 7 that you get, I think about 2. In fact, you know, I think I've got some to hand. I do have some to hand. Give me a second. So every batch of 7 that you get, 2 of them have bionic eyes, which is cool. And then the Scion Kits, again, everyone out of the sort of 9 heads you get in the Scion Kits, a good 3 or 4 of them have got bionic eyes. And so what I've noticed throughout the army is there's actually quite a heavy amount of augmetics and bionic replacements in the army. I've got multiple officers who have got bionic arms from the command squad kit. I've got some bionic legs from Anvil Industry, which I've used on a couple of sergeants. The Tempesta Prime, the classic Tempesta Prime, I painted up with the power sword and the converted plasma pistol. One of his arms was a full bionic replacement. So what I've sort of noticed is that the Mordian 50 rifles has a lot of bionic and augmetics, and so I want to kind of weave that into the fluff. Like, yeah, what's really interesting about the Mordians is that yes, they are a pure infantry regiment, and yes, they do huge wave attacks and take atrocious casualties, but they don't send their guys into battle. You know, one man has a rifle, one man has a clip. When the man with the rifle dies, the man with the clip picks up the rifle and shoots. They're not like that. everyone goes into battle fully equipped. So it's kind of like the best of both worlds. They're a really well equipped regiment with great, really well equipped regiment with good weapons, and also there's loads of them. So it's not like you're facing waves of untrained, useless cannon fodder with barely a rifle between them. You're actually facing a really disciplined horde of blokes who also have the equipment to back that up. And so I think in the fluff, that's what makes them kind of like a regiment of renown. And this kind of fits in with the augmetics and stuff. Like when the guardsmen take injuries and whatnot, they're not just like left out there to die. We bring back the wounded. We fix them up as best as we can. We replace augmetics with bits with augmetics we need to, and then they bring viable combat experience. So the Mordian 50 Rifles is this huge regiment. I like to think of them as almost like 10,000 strong when they were first founded, like a big infantry regiment that has has its pedigree because it's able to just do these huge infantry assaults with really, really well trained, well equipped guys. And I just think that's just kind of cool, makes it a bit more unique rather than the classic small elite guys or masses of unwashed bodies. It's actually these guys bring the best of both. They're not elite, but they're also not a total sort of conscript militia. So there you go, guys. That's kind of this week's Mordian Mondays. Going to keep it fairly short. I just want to say that I'm considering doing a double bill today because obviously there was a lot of talk over the weekend and last Friday with the new board sizes, and I want to do another video like the good, the bad, the ugly of the board sizes, because the last one, the good, the bad, the ugly of command points was really popular and got fantastic community engagement. For every 10 views we got a comment, which is just really, really good. And a lot of the engagement I got was really mixed in a good way. Like I got some people that said really positive things, I'm really looking forward to the command point changes, and some people saying you're right, it is good for some armies and horrendous for others. So I really, really enjoyed reading the mix of comments, and it did give me some perspectives before doing the table size video. And I do want to do that table size video because I don't want to leave it, if we've got Mordian Mondays and then we've got the live stream on Tuesday, it will be Wednesday before I do the table size video, and by then it's kind of old news. So I think I'll do a Mordian Mondays today and I'll do a table size video, and I'll release them both today. So, or I'll release one on Tuesday to go with the live stream. Anyway, guys, hope you enjoyed this video. Please put lots of comments down below. Let me know what you think of this squad. And also, more importantly, let me know what you guys have been working on during the hobby. I've been forgetting to ask at the end of the Mordian Mondays, but I'm really interested to know what you guys have been working on hobby-wise. Is your country still sort of in lockdown, so you're able to get more hobbying done, or are you back to work? What did you get done? What are you working on right now? I'm just really interested in all the hobby stuff, and if you guys have got any thoughts surrounding, 9th edition and what loadouts you think will be good and what army styles you think will be good, put them down in the comment section below. Hope you guys have enjoyed this video, and of course, I'll see you guys next time.